Hello again, everybody. Scott Casper, graphically challenged. This is Takedown. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. We head now to Raleigh, North Carolina. The Nike hot seat today being populated by NC State new associate head coach Frank Beasley, the second. Frank, how are you?
Good. How about yourself, Scott?
Good. As I mentioned, challenge big time. I can't, for whatever for whatever reason, over the last month or so, I've not been able to separate North and South Carolina. I know that's going to upset the Carolinians, but what have I got to do? I've just got to keep practicing. So, NC State is where you found a great home, traveling along with Pat Popolizio, leaving Binghamton to become a coach down there. Now, a promotion, associate head coach. How did that come about?
I've been coaching with Pat for 4 years now, and we work very well together. And the administration is very supportive here, and they wanted to make this more of a long-term thing for me here, and I want to be here more long-term, and so ultimately we just all agreed this was the next most logical step, and really excited about the future of the program, where we're headed, and the things we're doing.
Coach Pop said some very nice things about you. I'd like to read them if I run the risk of embarrassing you, but I'd like you to hear them. He said of you, his dedication, tireless work ethic, commitment, and loyalty to NC State wrestling have been instrumental to the success of the program. Let's talk about that. First of all, he has high praise indeed, well deserved, I might add. Your growth as a coach over the last several years has been tremendous. What have you been doing to grow yourself as a coach? I mean, there are things to do within the National Wrestling Coaches Association, etc., but becoming a great coach is a job in and of itself.
Well, it's I got a long way to go to get to that level, but I try to better myself every day. It's just like the guys on the team; they got to do something every day to try to improve and get better. And I do the same thing, whether it's talking to other coaches, learning, and picking their brains. Some of my mentors and other coaches across the country, reading certain books on leadership and coaching and that kind of thing, or studying technique, studying film. There's just a lot that goes into it, but really my biggest asset is, or the biggest thing that's helped me is being able to have a lot of great mentors and being able to pick their brains and go to them for advice and learning from them. And especially Pat. I mean, he's been a great mentor for me.
Tremendous guy, absolutely. How about this? Being able to recruit, being able to talk to a young man, being able to talk to the parents, family members, etc., about the potential of an athlete coming to your school. You've been able to sell that and sell it well. You've been helping the pack now in each of your 3 seasons to top 25 recruiting classes. One of the best performances, if not the best performance in a finish ever at the NCAA's. I mean, it's starting to pay off big time.
Yeah, things are going very well. We've got a really good team coming back, and recruiting's gone very well. We've been fortunate to find the right fit for our university and our philosophy of the program. Um, but it's an easy sell when you got the coaching staff that's here, the guys on the team, the support from the administration. NC State's a great school, and you really can't beat the area. So it's an easy sell, and it's home for us. So it makes it's an exciting time to be here, and the recruiting is much easier here than most places I've been because of that.
I've been to your facilities, your wrestling room, your weight room, the awesome. I don't even think the uh, football team uses the theater room anymore, do they?
No,
Yeah, just a tremendous facility. I mean, a guy could go in there and watch movies if you wanted to. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Uh,
it's great when the world championships are on, or we could put beat the streets up there, anything like that. It's great to broadcast some wrestling in that room.
that's what I'm talking about. You're probably watching episodes of Takedown Wrestling on there or USA Wrestling Weekly, and I don't even know it. And that's okay. You helped coach 13 NCAA qualifiers, the most in a 3 year span. Pardon me, since 2007 2009 season. You were able to get the most out of these young men, and perhaps That's the hallmark of a well-rounded coach. And there are mat rats, there are gym rats, there are great recruiters, but a guy that can put it all together, really, that's when you see the magic happen. Let's start early for you. How old were you when you started wrestling?
10 years old.
You've been wrestling since 10.
I started in January, and halfway through the season in January, there was a article in the paper. My dad told me about it, and I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll try it. It'd be cool." And next thing you know, I'm at wrestling practice, and as they say, the rest is history.
As they say, the rest is history. But at 10 years old, starting mid-year, you jumped in. What was that first experience like for you?
It was awesome. I loved it from day one. It was I had some really good coaches in the junior high program that I went to, and I was surrounded by great people in wrestling from day one. I was really fortunate to have the experience I did. So I fell in love with it after the first practice. My dad was like, "So is this something you want to do? Because you're either in or you're out, and you're either doing it or you're not that doing it. You're not that doing anything halfway." And I was like, "Yeah, man, this is what I want to do."
Put you on the spot, did he?
Yeah, basically. It's family is very, very much into, you're all in or you're nothing. You don't do anything halfway. So, got that from my parents, and it was like that for me day one in wrestling.
Over your shoulder, while you're primarily responsible for middle and upper weights, over your shoulder is a lower weight. Little fella that sporting some colors there that everybody might recognize, but a fashion statement in his own right, and he is number 3 in the lineage of Franklin's. How old is he now?
He is 17 months.
17 months. And does he like to roll around on the mat?
He loves it. He doesn't watch cartoons very much or anything, but when wrestling's on TV, he'll sit there, he'll sit on my lap and watch it. He goes crazy at the home matches, and he goes to all the home matches and a lot of the away matches. And he went through all 3 days of the national tournament this year, sitting in the stands, and he loves watching wrestling. He wants to get out there on the mat and roll around with our guys, and the guys on the team here are great with him.
North Carolina State is much stronger today, having elevated our guest to associate head coaching position. Frank Beasley is the new associate head coach for Pack Wrestling. The Pack, in many ways, is back, and we've seen some stellar performances from some great athletes, most notably and most recently from Nick Gwizdowski, who repeated as an NCAA champ at 285. And I like this kid. He's got a wonderful attitude. Got to see him wrestle freestyle in Las Vegas. Talk to us about Nick Gwizdowski and being able to coach him, to be around him, eventually really becoming friends with him. Seems like you guys are pretty close.
Well, Nick's a special guy. He works hard, and he really sees the big picture. And he was at Binghamton while I was at Binghamton. Pat and I were at Binghamton, and when we came down here, he transferred down and really could see the big picture. And he placed as a true freshman at Binghamton. He took 8th, and during the transfer process, I was like, if you come to NC State, the expectation is you win 3 national titles. That's going to be your goal and your expectation. And so far, he's lived up to it. So he's got 1 more year of eligibility. His goal is to compete internationally, win world and Olympic medals afterwards. He's got the trials coming up here in a few weeks, but he's just a special athlete. He can really zero in on things and make adjustments. He does a very, very good job making adjustments. And from last year to this year, he's gotten incredibly, just an incredible amount better, which is hard to do when you're already a national champion. But he's really refined some things, and he's a student of the sport, and he's a lot of fun to coach. That's for sure.
You see those guys that win a national championship and then they fall off. It seems as if they've met that goal and they stop improving. They stop working on their physical game. Mental game is just as tough. How do you keep them mentally engaged?
We're constantly talking with them and picking his brain and keeping him focused. I mean, he does a lot of that himself. He's very good at controlling things himself and focused and looking for that next goal. But it's not easy to repeat, and it's even harder when you got that target on your back. So there was a lot more stress and pressure put on him this year because he was looking to repeat. But it was amazing the way he handled it to go undefeated and really he pretty much dominated most of his competition throughout the year. And the target's on behind his back again this year, and again he's gonna have to do the same thing. But I think it's amazing he's able to go undefeated all year and win another national title with the amount of pressure and stress that comes with that.
He doesn't seem to show it though, and I think that's pretty cool about Gwiz, that he doesn't show the pressure. I remember doing an interview with him prior to the All-Star Classic this year. Did an interview with his opponent, Mike McMullen, as well. And Mike McMullen stated that he doesn't want to wrestle a dancing bear. And I said that to Gwiz. I said, McMullen doesn't want to wrestle a dancing bear. He said, he's going to get a bear all right. But if I recall, was not a dancing bear. I thought it was a very good match, and I thought McMullen now finished with his collegiate pursuit, but at least as an athlete. Gwiz really brought it, and what a way to cap an amazing season with another championship. Just an outstanding young man. Got great ability to move.
He does a lot of footwork drills and speed drills, and that's one of his biggest assets, and he's working on it to get better there. And he can attack both sides of the body. He shoots really well. He's got some high stuff. When he doesn't get to a shot that he can score with, he's really good on top. He's very underrated on top. He pins a lot of people, and he went on a streak this year. I think he had 7 straight pins, and 5 of them were in the top 20. He's very good all around. He gets off bottom. Nobody held him down all year this year. He got rode in the national finals last year, and he was bound and determined that would never happen again, and it hasn't. So, he's put a lot of time and work in, and it's really paying off. And excited about the trials coming up, and excited about next year, and ultimately world and Olympic aspirations, and I think it's very attainable for him. But it's been a lot of fun to coach him, and I've learned a lot from him as well.
That's neat. I like it when a coach says that, because you know what? There's a lot to be learned from our young athletes individually, and then as they interact as a team. We're talking with the new associate head coach, Frank Beasley, the second at NC State. Raleigh is a great place to be. It for me would be hard to focus because the weather seems to be always beautiful. As a student athlete, I too was challenged, but sophomore Pete Renda, Nikki Hall, and Bryce Meredith, 2 freshmen, and of course Nick Wisdowski all made the squad, the ACC all-academic squad. And I thought that was another testimony to the type of athletes you guys are recruiting and bringing in. And then, of course, the encouragement that must follow to earn a minimum 3.0 GPA and then maintain it. I mean, that is, to me, especially the 2 freshmen. It's hard for me to understand how a freshman comes in and does that right out of the box. But you guys are going after some outstanding young men.
Well, no, it's definitely a focus here, the academic side of things. I think before last year, I think it was 13 years since there was an academic All-American on the wrestling team at NC State. And we had 2 last year, and we're projecting to have 4 this year. And that's a major focus. Our team GPA is raised pretty dramatically to where we're at a 3.0 now, and it was pretty low when we got here, but it's been a focus. It's not just what you see out on the mat. It all goes hand in hand, being good citizens in the community, getting great grades, and obviously we want to win as well. So it's all part of it. We want the total package here, and we're fortunate to have some of those guys that are like Nick. I think Nick was 3.6, 3.7 student this semester. He's had over 3.0 every semester. He's 2-time national champion. I mean, that's hard to find, and he's it's special. And like you said, we got some young guys that are doing the same thing. So we're excited about the youth in our program and the guys that are coming through, and just really a lot of quality people.
You've also got some additions, or at least And no slight to anybody that's been in any room before at all, anywhere as a coach, but man, talk about an improvement bringing Adam Hall in.
Yeah, we are very excited to have Adam Hall on board. He's a stud. He's a very sharp guy, and he does a great job. Everybody, when we're kind of going through it and looking to make an addition to the staff, just asking around and really picking a lot of people's minds about who were the bright up and coming coaches. His name came up time and time again, and so when that happens, usually there's a reason for it. And we got to know him, and we're just thoroughly impressed, and couldn't be more excited to have Adam Hall here at NC State.
Well, I think that's just another smart move by NC State. I can only congratulate you and a job well done on the promotion you've made, or that has been made in your career. I know your family's got to be awfully proud of you, and having another one looking up to you and Frank Beasley III has got to be a special moment in a dad's life too. I think that's pretty cool. Frank, you're doing it the right way. We are not glancing over it at all. We are keeping our eyes trained on what's going on down there at NC State. The Wolfpack is making some strong moves, and one of them was the elevation of you. It's great to see that they believe in you as much as you believe in them. Job well done.
Thank you, Scott.
For all of us at Takedown, this has been a very special one-on-one. In the Nike hot seat today is the new associate head coach of NC State in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm Scott Casper for Takedown. Our guest has been Frank Beasley II. Thanks for watching.